Welcome into the
already
ATB
a mess.
show.
It's already a mess.
It is atbshow.com. Joe, Leslie, I have to imagine you are the criminals that gave your star employee tickets to the Red Sox. Our dear friends Joe and Leslie at AAA Work Trucks. If it goes in, on, or should be lying under a truck, it might be rubber shoes.
Oh.
And if you see a box truck, sounds like a terrorist threat. If you see a box truck anywhere in the Merrimack Valley area,
There's a reason they don't pay for the
it might be double parked on Lansdowne right now. Who knows? If you see a box truck with some magical photos of one William Francis Corey dressed like the Village People, that's AAA Work Trucks.
Do you think that's the deal that they have with him? If they give him tickets, he has to drive the box truck into the city and park it on a public street?
Again, sounds like a threat that should be on cable news. Can you imagine if they got a truck that just didn't fit and he starrowed it? You know what that term is? It's like a verb, right? It happens every August with dads driving their daughters into BU and they starrow the truck, right? Yeah. Can you see? Honestly, Joe and Leslie, I know this. Everybody's listening. Well, nobody's listening. Yeah, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, from a marketing standpoint, you should get a truck that's a little too big, send him into the city, and have him starrow it. You'd be all the coverage you would get. That would be
absolutely.
Be amazing. God,
no bad press.
We're
Joe
so
and
smart.
Leslie.
We're so smart. Anyway, AAA Work Trucks, Rubber Shoes is live from Fenway. He's probably going to try to check in. We're not going to let him in.
Oh, he is.
What? No, I'm joking. I hope I'm joking. Yeah, God. Yeah, Scotty's like, yeah, we're not letting him in. He can call into the green room. He can call into the green room. Only one of us can let him in, and my finger hurts, so we're not going to do that. We've got Uncle Duke's live from beautiful downtown Maine. Adam is in beautiful downtown Connecticut, and I am in the southern New Hampshire studios. We don't really have a northern. If I ever do the show from Meredith in North Conway, I suppose that would be the northern New Hampshire studios. But we're all here. So much to talk about. The fact that I was almost right with the Belichick prediction. He is apparently going to be frequently on Omaha Productions. They just got a 9-year deal. I don't know if you saw that. The Manning brothers got re-signed with ESPN. Omaha Productions got a 9-year extension, which is amazing. I was hoping for Saban and him with a coach cast opposite their cast. Maybe it grows into that. Who knows? That's going on. Also, the Brady roast is taking place. Executive producer Ava in the background marching around. Yep, going to play some golden tea as she should. Does she have a scotch? What's happening? What's going on?
You better not have a scotch.
I hope not. Yeah. Well, school's out. Finals are over. She's fine. Yep. It's a summer of breaking hearts. Summer of breaking hearts.
Dad, I just hit a 2.
Just having boys over to the pool like. So my father's working on a project with Guam right now. He won't be coming down for a while. You can finish his scotch.
What is it? By the way, speaking of the pool, what's the float situation this year? Scotty, you got to be up in your float situation, right? You're up in your float game?
Yeah, we've got a few
I love
more.
all
We
of
actually
this.
just put in a brand new patio and stairs into in there. So
I don't think get hired at Liberty Mutual. What is happening?
Liberty killing it. Liberty killing it.
We got a lot of floats. Actually, one of the Christmas gifts to the wife was one of her floats as well. So
what'd you get her? What'd you get her? A strawberry?
Nope, can't see that. Nope. Nope.
Too glowy.
Nope.
Gonna work.
Nope, like a deer in the headlights. Nope.
Yep.
What is it?
It's just a picture of the new patio, but it's not gonna work. Anyway.
I want to see that.
Like it.
All right.
Yeah, we got a bunch of new floats and stuff. She's got one like this huge, just comfy float with like big koozies on each side, so she can just relax.
What filled float? What?
Big, comfortable, comfy.
Comfy. I'm not gonna lie, Scotty. I'm not gonna lie, Scotty. I'm actually not. I'm not even gonna continue to drive the go-kart down the path. We're just gonna stop talking.
I don't know what I said then. I have no idea.
Because I adore your wife and I'm afraid of you. We're just gonna stop talking. That's all. Okay. Adam is in his basement and he's hearing things. That's all.
You guys said like see you next Tuesday. Is that what just happened? Like I don't know.
No, worse than that. We're gonna skate. We're gonna skate away. We're skating away. We're skating away.
Keep skating. Comfy
just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. What? Do you have any fruit in the pool besides rubber shoes?
Yeah. We have no Well, there's no fruit. There's no.
What did Rubber Shoes have? A strawberry? Was he mounting fruit?
Strawberry, yeah, something like that.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
We don't have any.
So sorry.
And he did predict this too. Rubber Shoes did predict that he was going to get tickets. He put it into the ether when it happened.
I know. He's such a jerk. Honestly.
Yep. So when does the pool open?
Friday.
Oh, it's a good question.
Oh, Friday?
Friday. Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
is it heated? I forget. Did you heat it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a heater. And we have like a little, we have a solar cover as well. So I'll be taking the cover off of it and getting it ready to go. And they're going to be here to shock it and do all the other fancy stuff that they have to do with the filter and the heater and all that stuff beforehand, and then get going. I'm dying. I have to go back and see what the hell I just said.
It's a lot. Did Amy hire a pool boy or did you hire a pool girl? Because I'm just asking.
Stop.
Neither. Like we hired the company that built the pool to come back and open it.
I'm going to ask a question I know the answer to because I know how bougie Scotty is. Do you have a water source? Like, are you getting water delivered?
No.
Oh.
Water delivered.
No. So we did.
People do that. People do it.
Yeah. When we opened the pool, when they built the pool, we had to get the water delivered because it's a significant amount of water. So we did that this year because we obviously pumped out a bunch, for the off season.
Sure.
And then I just over like 3 or 4 days because the water, it got plenty of water in the well right now. So I've over 3 or 4 days, a couple of hours, I'd leave the hose in there and just let it fill up. So
nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Now, so somebody has to throw this into the team thread. Adam, you need to tell Rubber Shoes that Scotty's opening his pool and make it some inane hour at like 11:59 on Friday, just to annoy Rubber Shoes, because he's gonna be like driving the box truck, heading to the fire department. It's gonna jam him up just enough because the competitive engine's gonna get moving and he's gonna get all worked up.
Oh my God!
He's gonna be out there with a headlamp on Thursday night, shocking the pool.
I don't think he's heated though. Is he heated? I don't think he's heated. Because if he's not heated, you can't open. If it's not heated, you can't open it May 5th.
Have you met Rubber Shoes? He'll open the pool.
I don't know.
He'll be out there skating on it. You kidding me?
I'm in like blankets and sweatshirts still at my house, and I'm like, a couple 100 miles south of you, Scotty. So I'm impressed that you're filling up the pool and getting started so early. That's good.
But if you
we're not going to use it. We probably won't actually use it until next week at some point. You know what I mean? It's going to be a few days, but
you got to get it warmed up.
Yeah. But once it's ready to go,
I'm calling bullshit. He's jumping in Friday. 4,000%.
It's a strong possibility.
He does have a comfy
you got to do it on
Sunday.
Sunday. You get Cinco de Drinko on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You got to float around on a little margarita?
Can't because the boy won this. So he won.
What is happening?
So my son Nathan, who was just on the ice doing the national anthem.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Maine Mariners. He won the Portland Sea Dogs Most Improved Student Award. And
get out of here.
Run the bases at Hadlock Field on Sunday before the game.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I got this is like the general admission ticket you get, and he's got like a little award and stuff like that, and he gets to run out there. It's pretty cool.
I forget his name. The dad of the Ball family, like LaMelo. What's his name? There's LaMelo Ball.
LeVar Ball.
Is it LeVar? You are turning into the vanilla LeVar. You really are. Like you're just you're living vicariously through your son. Like you're gonna be like, listen, can you see Big Nate's marching up there, all super excited. Scotty's walking with them, and he's just like, listen, if you don't want to run the bases, I can do it for you. It's fine. Yeah, I'll do it for you.
He's standing in front of the cameras are out there. He's standing in front of them going, my son's going to make it. He's going to make it to the MLB.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Speaking of the Ball family, random connection. Welcome to the show. They were. I saw somewhere online, and this might not have been recently, but I think it was recently. LaMelo got like a full back tattoo that took over 18 hours. Did you see that?
Oh my!
I have not seen that.
Yeah, it's got everything on it. Like his whole back's filled in. I want to say it's like 18 hours. I saw it this morning or later on today.
What's in your news feed that's not in mine? Because I don't see a lot of LaMelo Ball content.
I don't know. Listen, when you're watching your son's lacrosse game when you're supposed to be working, things pop up. That's all I got to say. Yeah.
Things are right.
Game was at 2 o'clock.
That they won, though.
I was
That's
doing some emails, answering some calls, and watching my son win a lacrosse game. So it was pretty good.
Hey,
pretty good.
That's pretty awesome.
For those of you joining at home, yeah, Lake Forest pulled off a semifinal win. They'll have a final. They're playing for the conference championship on Saturday, 2 Central, 3 Eastern, and I believe Dubuque is probably wrapping up their game, so it'll be against Dubuque, which was the final last year too, that they won in overtime, I believe. So it'll probably be a tight game on Saturday, and Janine is heading out there.
Just to annoy Rubber Shoes, can we dig a little deeper into the college lacrosse landscape?
I love this.
Is it 90-second shot clock for men?
I'm gonna say it is 90. I feel like I've seen 80 pop up, but you're probably right with the 90. I believe. Yeah.
I was, first of all, 90 seconds seems like an eternity when you watch a lot of basketball and you haven't watched a lot of lacrosse. 90. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but 90 seconds seems like a lot. But I took the girls to see the Yale women's lacrosse team. They are, I think, like 6 or 7 in the country, something like that, in that ballpark. And the 90-second clock, I was just like, oh my God, this is a long time to get a shot off. But they passed, it's a lot different than basketball, obviously. But I was just curious if it was the same in men's or not.
I mean, you could argue every sport possession is key. Yeah. That'll be on the quiz later. But it's a killer with lacrosse. Yeah. So the game we just traveled to last weekend, Saturday, their last regular season game was against Calvin University. They've played them 3 years in a row. They've been on their schedule for 3 years. They've lost to them every year. Wow. And we lost 13-12 with 2 seconds left. Now, what led to that? This is the backbreaker. What led to that? They're tied.
Yeah.
We have possession because I'm on the team. We have possession.
Obviously.
Yeah, screaming from the sideline. Such a good dad. And we're coming down the sideline, and one of our kids on Lake Forest, completely unopposed, just stepped out of bounds. Just what wasn't watching his feet.
Oh no!
So unforced turnover. They take possession. Yikes. They wind the clock down. 3 seconds left. The kid shoots. They score with 2 seconds left. It was a face-off. It was a fait accompli. 13-12, done. So they finished 13-2. They won. They had already. That was a non-conference game. They had already
that was
won
only their second loss of the season.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And then they played.
Crazy.
Then they had their semi today against Cornell College, and they won 20-1 But
are you really the dad that yells?
No, God, no, God.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So, but the disparity between today's game and this weekend's game will be huge. Like, Dubuque is going to be a tough opponent. So that's a huge game. Win that, they advance to the D3 brackets. And then
I actually thought of you
when
I was at a number of times when I was at the Yale game, but one of the reasons is because every time they scored a goal, a dad had a bullhorn. But like a old school bullhorn, not like one of the ones where you press the button. And he would yell out YALE, and then the people would say Yale, 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 right? And then he goes, "Who let the dogs out?" Because they're the Bulldogs.
Oh my God!
The people in the stands would all bark. I was like, "This is the most magical father, activity that anybody has ever done on this." He's working it.
Yeah, I love it.
And I thought maybe that was Timmy, but I guess not. I guess you're a quiet dad.
And the women, the men's and women's college lacrosse all starts in like another week because BC women beat Notre Dame in the semi and then beat Syracuse to take the ACC back-to-back years, taking the ACC. But the brackets don't start for like another week, which is crazy because they got to get through graduation and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And that goes straight through. I love all the lacrosse stuff goes straight through Memorial Day weekend. It's such a good time of year.
That's so cool.
Such a good time of year. So he's at the Red Sox. We're gonna let him report in with the Red Sox. Let's talk. Scotty's geared up for what we should be talking about. Celtics. We'll talk Celtics. We'll talk Bruins. We'll talk post draft thoughts. And then I do want to touch on some Caitlin Clark stuff, which is some pretty cool stuff that popped up as of late. But let's go Celtics first. Talk to me, Scotty. How we feeling? You good?
Yeah. No, I mean, I will say that Game 4 was not the cleanest game in regards to, of course, injuries and people getting banged up and stuff with Porzingis. Going down, I will say that I peed a little bit. A little bit of pee
Oh.
came out of me when I woke. It was a non-contact
Not in the pool.
injury.
Don't do it in the pool.
Yeah.
No, don't do it in the pool. Kids know that. And when it happened, because it looked like I thought it was his Achilles. That's what I thought. I thought it was immediately. That's my first thought. And it's a calf strain. And apparently he actually might be back as early as next week. So he's, he might miss. He's only going to miss a few, basically like 5-7 days as of right now. So it looks promising. Now they went 20-4 or 21-4 without him this season.
Yeah.
So the Celtics do play well. Bam is a tough matchup for for Al. Al's obviously not going to be able to play the whole game. Hopefully Cornette can, be serviceable, which I think he can be as long as he's healthy enough for tonight's game. But I do think they wrap it up. I will say I was nervous too when Bam, who I don't care if they're friends and all that, but that move, that thing that Bam did, so dirty. The Heat are just so dirty, and it's such a cheap shot. And the fact they are friends just makes it, I guess, worse. But it's really just, I think Bam's super frustrated because outside of game 1 where he shot the ball really well, and game 2, I mean, everyone shot the ball well for the Heat in game 2, but they've played like absolute trash. And he really actually didn't shoot great in game 2. He was okay, but he hasn't shot the ball as well as he did in game 1. And so I think he's frustrated, and I think that was just a frustration move, but still could seriously have injured Tatum. And I think we can all agree if Tatum is down, then there's no ring coming to Boston. So we need to make sure he stays healthy. But I think they wrap it up tonight. Knock on wood, everyone stays healthy, and they get out of they'd be the first Eastern Conference teams to get out of the first round and move on.
So a couple of people. And again, I've never refereed for the NBA, so I know it when I see it. But like, I understand some people like, I don't even know what he did wrong. Like when they're taking the shot and you step into his landing zone, like that's what he did wrong. Like he stepped into him when he was coming down. That was interesting. And not to get off the Celtics, I want to stay there. But the most ridiculous fake injury I saw in the last couple of days, the Lakers. Oh God, his name's escaping me because I want to say LeBron because it's usually always LeBron. Who was it? Who was the eyebrow? Help me.
Oh, Anthony Davis?
Davis, yeah. AD under the hoop, the shoulder. Now, there's two. There's the angel and the devil on my shoulder. The angel on my shoulder says something must have happened. There's no way a groaned with a D man falls and flops like that unless something really happened. Then the other one is like, he's learning from his father, right? Like, there's that old adage that you find the twin boys that had a dad who was a degenerate gambler, and one of them's a millionaire, and one of them's broke at the track, and you're like, how did you get here? And like, I learned from my dad because you take a certain lesson,
right.
Like there's so much Flopposaurus Rex coming from LeBron, it just wore off. But that was ridiculous, and I think that's where people are going like, it's just anybody sees anything and it doesn't look like, somebody's leg snapping in half. They assume people are, yellow card, European football flopping. And that wasn't the case. Like his ankle rolled, which was gross.
Oh, 100%.
And that would have absolutely, to your point, Scotty, screwed us with a capital K.
And I think
go ahead.
Go ahead, bud. Good.
I was just gonna say, I think when he walked off, limping, or when he limped off, I think we were all just like collectively holding our breath. But thankfully he came back and he looked fine. I'm sure, those types of things, if you've ever had them, they suck because they linger. But he's tough and he's toughed it through. I think he'll, with the medicine that they have nowadays and the sports science and all that stuff, I'm sure it'll be fine in game 5. I'm not too worried about it. I will say that I have not enjoyed watching this first round series as much as I've ever not enjoyed watching the Celtics play playoff basketball in my entire life. I cannot wait for us to win it so that we can get past the Heat. I don't care who else we play. I don't care if we play anybody else in the East. I don't care if we play Denver. I will enjoy it way more than I'm enjoying this series. I hate having a 30-point lead and feeling like I don't know, 30-point lead. And I know it's like you'll say, oh, it's the modern NBA and all that stuff. It is to some extent, but it's also the Heat. I mean, the Heat are just so freaking annoying, and I cannot stand watching them play. They don't even have half the players that I don't like. Like, I don't like Jimmy Butler. I didn't like Kyle Lowry. They don't even have those guys anymore. And I'm still like dying for this stupid series to be over. So I cannot wait for them. Hopefully Scotty is right, and they put it away tonight, and they can get some rest, and we don't have to see those stupid whiteout T-shirts at whatever their stupid arena is down in the South. And then we can move on to whatever dumb marketing ploy the Cleveland Cavaliers have in mind.
Let me say my stupid. Let me get my stupid in before Scotty says something brilliant and learned. We are the only city that doesn't hand out towels.
Yeah,
we are the only city incapable. We could put it out. We could have put it out at Thanksgiving and said, Game 5. We're going to do a green out. We're going to do a green out. And we'd still fuck it up. Let's be honest, right? So there's that. And we, to your point, Adam, we're so spoiled. We are such spoiled fans, and it's such a beautiful thing. It's unenjoyable to watch the first round of both the Bruins and the Celtics. Because I'm not saying we should be a sweep. Not even, gentlemen's sweep in both of these series, probably. Not a sweep. It shouldn't be by 40. I don't need JT to shoot 4-pointers like Dana Barros. He doesn't have to put 60 on the board every night. But what are we doing? That's first. And then to skate quickly, pun intended, you're welcome, it'll be on the quiz later, over to the Bruins series. If I have to watch the Moron Festival in that little parking lot, and it's not even until I saw it in person, and I know I've told you guys what it is. It's like at the end of this dead end in Toronto, and they just put up the scaffolding that they stole from Colombia from the protests, and they all just jump up and down every time we screw up and lose in overtime. Like, it's so unenjoyable to watch our teams that should be resting for round 2 in both sports respectively. I can't. And anytime the game opens up, and I'll tell you last night when they swapped out their goalie in Toronto, I know I'm switching sports. Like the ice tilted as soon as I saw they just threw in their rando, and I'm like, yep, they put a new goalie in. We're gonna somehow screw this up at the Garden. So I'm excited about tonight because we're home, and I just want the Celtics to be healthy. Porzingis most likely sits tonight. Yes.
Yeah, he's not playing tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
He's out.
Which is fine. Like I said, I think it's going to be fine, and I still think they'll put. Especially the way Derek White was just.
Oh my God, he saved us.
Game 4.
Yeah, I just wish he'd grow the hair back. I want the hair back. It's so much better with the hair. It is.
I don't know. The hair last year in the playoffs didn't go very well, so I think he's
true.
Last year he was not. It was not good. He did not have a good playoff last year, and he even referenced it in during the post game after Game 4. It's like I haven't played well. In the postseason, and last year I have to do that. I also wouldn't, by the way, Adam, I wouldn't jump to just saying it's Cleveland just yet. Orlando had.
Oh no, I just meant whoever. Yeah, I meant whoever. Yeah.
That's been a fun series to watch.
Yes.
What's so funny is like when you talk about the West and the East, everyone's talking about like, oh, look at the Western Conference matchups and how stacked that conference is. Meanwhile, you had 2 sweeps and 1 go finish in 5. And then you got the Eastern Conference where it's actually like actual competition, where we have right now we're 4-1, everyone else is 3-2. So it's to me it's funny.
We're 3-1, by the way. We're 3-1, Scotty. Be careful.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Freudian slip. 4-1.
A few hours ahead. A few hours behind.
Trying to feverishly knock on any wood I can find right now, Scotty.
There you go. My desk is made out of wood, so
I will say though, Scotty, I hear what you're saying, and the competition level is low. To me, in the first round has been lower in the Western Conference. However, the top tier teams in the Western Conference are going to be a battle. I mean, Denver, Minnesota is going to be a lights out series.
Absolutely.
And if you watch, I don't know how much of the Pacers Bucks series you've watched, and I know the Bucks are decimated by injury, but the defense in that series is, my local high school team could go play in that game and put up numbers. There is almost no defense being played whatsoever. It's unbelievable. And if you look at that series versus our series, it's like night and day. I mean, our series is an absolute battle, even though we've won 3 out of the 4 games. And those 2 series are just like, I mean, the Milwaukee Pacers series is just the worst defense I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like, here, layup. Here you go.
Ugly. That's ugly basketball. I'll say that. I think it's
horrible.
Ugly basketball. Last night, especially, like the Pacers had no interest of being there for whatever reason. You're playing a team with no Dame and no Giannis. They already started this thing without Giannis, and you are up, 3 games to 1. You could, I mean, it was a pathetic showing by Indiana, and they didn't play any defense. And that's why, like, you look at the, Celtics just don't fuck this up. You know what I mean? Like, it could not have
exactly.
You could not have an easier path to the NBA Finals than you have this season.
Maybe they'll say that on the towel that we have tonight in the Garden.
And I think just with Miami, I will say, obviously their backs are against the wall tonight, and they're going to play hard, and they're going to fight. My only thing is, and this will be the last kind of thought if I've had on the Celtics for tonight's game, when's it going to happen? If we're up by 15, 18, 20, 22, whatever it is, and it's mid to late third quarter, early fourth, when's it going to happen when someone's just going to take an absolute cheap shot on one of our stars? And I feel like it's just going to happen. It's almost like a bad boy Pistons type of thing where what's going to happen. Someone's just going to take just try and take somebody out. And I just hope the Celtics react, A, no one gets hurt, and B, they react appropriately and don't get suspended for any games going into the next round is the only other thing too.
That reminds me, you saying that reminds me of when Rondo got his arm yanked by Wade, by D Wade. And that was, that basically ruined our playoffs that year.
Oh yeah.
Was that in the Eastern Conference Finals or was it in the semifinals? I can't remember.
It was the semifinals. That was the year that Garnett was also hurt, and we lost to fucking Orlando.
Yes,
It was gross. We lost to them in 7 games, and then they got their ass freaking spanked by the Lakers.
Right. It would have been 3 finals in a row, right? If we had beaten Orlando, and then we would have had a third shot at the Lakers.
Because they beat the Lakers, and then they lost to Orlando, and then because the Lakers went to 3 straight.
Just thinking out loud, because I got it on in the office right now. Boston Sport, NBC Boston Sports, and Gorman wraps it up tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight's his last night. Yep.
Should they wrap it up tonight? Gorman wraps it up.
Oh, it could be a seventh if there was a 7th game. Right?
1,000%. I'm just saying, whenever this thing wraps up,
from your lips. From your lips.
Yes. I always forget because I do love, and there's another contract that's up in the air right now. I guess not necessarily up in the air, but I'll get to it in a second. I do love. I know everybody here does. I could watch Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley talk about like anything. That pregame, halftime, postgame show is gold. Just Charles complaining about Galveston, Texas the other night. And all the outtakes, like when you're under the boards and you got a guy banging you, and Shaq just doesn't care. Shaq can do whatever he wants, and it's spectacular television. And Ernie's just the dean. It's all so good. So I have to remember to switch over to watch the local call with Scal and Gorman. That aside, headline today or yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw, NBC's gunning to get the NBA back. $2.5 billion to strip it back from TNT.
Wow. Yep.
I don't know how they don't win that unless TNT is going to step up. And it's really fascinating to watch all this happen because for cycling, between mountain biking and cyclocross and all the stuff that Janina and I watch, it's either now on Bleacher Report, which is now tucked in to Max, which is now part of the whole Warner Brothers family. So we have some of our programming there. Some of it's on this thing called Flow Sports. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I pay $150 a year for that. We only use it for cycling, and then the rest of most of road cycling is on Peacock. Oh. So like there's 3 different places it could be every weekend, and I just find it fascinating. I don't know, Warner Brothers is like puffing their chest right now because they've got all this stuff packed into Bleacher Report and all the sports they're packing into Max, and I don't know if they're going to go that deep to come up with 2.5. And it's so funny because when we were kids, at least I was, check with your grandparents, Scotty. When I was a kid, it was the NBA on NBC. It's just so funny to see that logo and go like, oh my God.
Oh, I loved that.
Oh my God.
You started singing the song. Are you kidding me? That was the greatest intros of all time.
Absolutely. Now they have a Kevin Hart commercial with it.
So that'll be really interesting. One other thing on basketball before we, and not that we can't keep talking about basketball because I actually want to ask you guys about Anthony Edwards, but before we get there, the Caitlin Clark thing I wanted to reference, a couple of funny things that I saw. She referenced the fact that everybody was asking her about her time, and she's like, I'm just going to practice right now. I'm still in a hotel. She said she brought her PS5. She goes, but I haven't really moved into my hotel room. Yeah, like all the boys are like, like if you weren't already in love with Caitlin Clark, you're like, oh my God, she's got a PS5. And she's already taken her boyfriend, if you don't know, works for the Pacers.
Right.
Yeah. But she made a great reference. I love that she's already picking the fight. She goes, listen, I don't expect us to get paid the way the NBA guys get paid. They've got the eyes. She goes, I do expect to get paid more than the live golfers, though. Because of the ratings.
Oh, that's magical.
Because of the ratings. I was like, oh my God, because it's so funny. And you used to have to go search for them online. We're all over the place. Welcome back. You have to go search for Live before. Now it's on CW. Right? And I'm still not going to search it out.
Still searching for it?
No, like I just said to Janina, I'm like, they're in Adelaide. She, the mother country. I'm like, they're in Adelaide. Do you want to watch? She's like, no. She goes, when I put it on, and I see those cockamamie logos, and then they're all playing on team. She just it's like and she couldn't even explain it. So if she tries to tell you, she could. Like if we put on ESPN 38 at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday, and cricket's on, like her head will turn because she can't help herself as a native, but she has no idea what's happening. Yeah, it's like Senegal versus Tibet, and she's like, "Oh my God, there's
I love this team.
There's Yaz. He plays the wall so well. She has no idea what's happening. I can't explain, and that's why I wouldn't watch cricket with any interest. I can't understand it, and the teamification of whatever they're doing on Live makes me not care. I would love for that talent to all come back under one tent, and maybe they're going to get there. The rumor is they're getting closer and closer, but I thought the Caitlin Clark comment was brilliant. Yes. Yeah. Yes, she goes, we have more eyes than them. I'm like, you do, actually. Yeah. Yep. They could do a pay-per-view of her plugging in her PS5. She'd have more people. Yeah. Play an NBA Jam.
Let me before we move on, Scotty, what's the over-under on Tillman's minutes tonight? You think Tillman gets some minutes?
I think he does. I think they have to. I'd say 15.
Okay. I just think he's a bigger body than Cornette. I love Cornette, but I just think he's just got a bigger body that can kind of, give some fouls to Bam. I mean, at some point.
Yeah. So the only reason why I think he would probably play more than Luke is just getting up and down the floor. Like Cornette's not fast as Bam. Bam flies up and down the court. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Luke kind of Luke's more of a lumber kind of guy up and down the court. So, he's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. So, but yeah, I'd say he probably gets 15 tonight, 15 minutes or so, somewhere around.
Big night for Pritchard tonight. Big night for Pritchard tonight, I think.
I like it.
Little Dana
he hasn't been nearly as aggressive as
he's had a tough series.
He's just not looking for a shot. He just doesn't look aggressive. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'd like him to step up for sure.
Can I ask you guys? Go ahead, bud.
I was just gonna say, the one thing I loved is when Derek White came in for the follow on the Jaylen Brown free throw. It was very reminiscent of his last-minute shot in Game 6. So they just kept showing the last-minute shot over and over again. I was like, yes, keep showing that. Even though we lost the stupid series, I was like, that's one of my favorite all-time games that, of course, Derek White's had, but also that we've played against the Heat. It was amazing. I just watched that over and over again. I could watch it on YouTube all day.
As my NBA insiders, can you explain to me, as the civilian when it comes to basketball on the show, why all of a sudden, and not that he doesn't deserve it, why all of a sudden Anthony Edwards is getting so much attention? Like, I feel like I've seen, and maybe it's because things are getting pushed at me on social media, but even in the pregame and postgame shows, I feel like I've seen Stephen A. Smith Charles Barkley, like everybody suddenly raving about him and putting him in order, like literally saying MJ, Kobe, and then putting him next.
No. If there's people who are doing that, they're a fucking idiot. But
oh, they're doing it. They are doing it. I've heard them say that.
Thank you. I mean, I am senile.
I agree.
So
the position ranking, because he's a 2-guard, and they're like, that's. Did they forget that Dwayne Wade played basketball? I mean, we got to
exactly.
Come on.
That's the day and age we're in now.
The kid's a stud, and I love him to death. I'll say this, Tim, to answer your question directly. 2 things that I think why he's getting a ton of exposure right now. One, the way he just absolutely dominated the Suns. They swept them with Beal and Durant, and the way that he played against Durant especially, and just the way that he bounced back from, like, I think it was game 3 where he played like dog shit the first half and then ended up scoring 38 points in the second half. And he wasn't doing that last year when they lost and they got themselves swept by the Nuggets last year. Like, he would have a bad first half and he would just have a bad game. So the maturity of him and him taking it to the next level, on top of the fact of the way that he played during the summertime for, I think it was the Nationals, the U.S. Nationals that they played for the qualifying. And so I think that's kind of showing that maturity. So he's getting that type of exposure there. And the second part is he's been mic'd up for 2 out of the 4 games, and he's amazing mic'd up. He is hilarious.
Yes, he
is so funny. He's a great personality.
He's fresh out of Fox. Yes, like he stood at half court and he was doing the.
Oh yeah. Dude, he's hilarious. And I think that's like another part too, is that he's going to get that exposure because he's relatable, he's funny, he's a personality, and especially if he's going to be mic'd up like that, then absolutely, man, like, let's go. So those are the
and also he's got the killer, right? A lot of times people say Tatum doesn't have the killer. Like he'll come into a post game press conference and he'll be like, "Yeah, it was a good game." But Anthony Edwards will come in and just be like, "Yeah, I loved taking it to KD. He was one of my favorite players growing up. But I wanted to go out there and kill him. I can't wait to talk shit to him, for the team, USA team." Like that to me is like another reason, because people love, you hear these stories about Jordan all the time. Now, there wasn't as much access with the players when Jordan was playing, so you rely on a lot of stories. Yeah. But people love these stories of like these guys going out and just being killers. So I think that's part of it. And then the other piece of it is, the Timberwolves were a question mark going into the playoffs. I know they've been great all season, but people didn't know if they could win a hard-fought, which it turned out to not be a hard-fought series in the first round. They had lost to the Suns 9 days before the playoffs started, so everybody thought it was going to be a series
to them.
What's that?
In the regular season. They lost all 3 games to them.
Did Suns they? I didn't know that. Season. Okay.
And by 16, by at least 16 points or more, all 3 games they lost.
Wow. So it's even more surprising that they swept them in the playoffs. So I think his star will come back down to earth a little bit when they play the Nuggets. I'm sure. I think it's going to be a series, but I think the Nuggets will still win, and I think his star will come back down. Now, if he rises to the occasion, I mean, people will be talking about him as MJ. I mean, he's only 22 years old. People are going to be talking about what's his ceiling, and his ceiling is MJ. It's like, okay. So let's settle down. He's 22 years old. He hasn't won anything yet. I mean, that's what I hate about the NBA, ecosphere now, whatever you want to call it. Like, everybody wants to appoint these guys the next great guy before they do anything. They haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Who's the other example of that I was thinking of the other day? Even like Shea. I mean, Shea is a little bit older, right? He's like 25, 26. But he hasn't really done anything yet either. I mean, he's been spectacular in the regular season, but he hasn't done anything in the postseason. So we'll see. Somebody's got to come out of the West.
So, and we'll have all summer to talk about it because it's going to be a story all summer. But where the Lakers did just exit, he marched right off the floor. He was asked on the dais in the post-game presser, and he had no answer for them about the Lakers. And I think you guys would agree, he's waiting to see what Bronny's going to do. Because Bronny right now has put himself in the transfer portal and said he's available for the draft. He's holding up all of his golden tickets. And I think if Bronny, I don't know where do you think Bronny lands, first of all? And would that already be orchestrated because the person knows that LeBron would be willing to go there? Because that's really what he wants. That's if he can get that ticket punched next year and play with him in New York or play with him with the Clippers, because I know there's not the Clippers.
Philly.
I apologize. Well, no, they were talking about Golden State because he really wants to play with Steph. LeBron would love to play with Steph. But it's got to make sense. Like, nobody's going to do it as a circus act, although they might do it as a circus act. But I think that
would make me want to
to
jump off a bridge.
What? Oh, Bronny and LeBron playing together?
No,
Somebody
it's
will
going to
do
be
it.
a nightmare for. I think it's going to be a media nightmare for most places. I mean, the thing is it's a joke that Bronny's even declared for the NBA draft for a kid that did absolutely nothing in college,
leaving USC because he couldn't get off the bench.
If there was, well, that's it. You know what I mean? It's like if it was anyone else without his last name and they declared for that, number one, they'd be just laughed at and be like, yeah, okay, go play in the Euro League, and you wouldn't even make it there. You know what I mean? Like, it's nepotism at its highest level, and it's so ridiculous. Yep. And honestly, I've heard the last thing I heard about it was the Lakers are trying to get Bron back, and they're saying that they will draft Bronny. Like they're already giving him like some guarantees, like if he, he's there, we'll take him or whatever. But yeah, he tweeted too, or X'd or whatever the hell. LeBron did.
We call it Twixing now. It's Twixing, which I enjoy as a fat person.
I like that.
The cookie crunch.
That it's like, oh well, I still don't know what I'm going to do. I'm still not sure. I'm going to spend time with my family and friends and advisors, and then as soon as I know, I'll let everybody know, or something to that effect. He'll be going to Cancun and relaxing. So I don't expect anything on this, and to your point, Tim, until probably the draft. He may not even make a decision until after the draft, until you see what happens with Bronny. But
I think he's going to Galveston, not Cancun.
He's going to Galveston too.
Much better.
He's
water.
got the money to
Much
go to
better
Cancun.
water.
I don't think he has. He's not going.
Oh, you're probably right.
Just ask Chuck.
Going to Bora Bora.
They got big women down there. Big women down there. It's some of the best television. I can't wait to get home and watch it. The pregame is just good.
Did you see Kenny Tripp going to the board? Yeah. Did you see?
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, and then I forget who it was. Somebody was on, and I forget what set she was on, but a WNBA player was on a set, and there's a whole meme about it because she's got and the guy's just singing, and he's like, "Oh no, she got them Kenny knees." You know how Kenny's knees go in, like painfully. This girl was on the set. She's holding the basketball. I think she might have been talking to Chuck, and I don't know what she was probably out there. I don't know what they were discussing. But because it was just a meme of her, and they focused in on her knees, and he's like, "Oh no, she got them Kenny knees."
Oh, that's
his
hysterical.
knees are painful. Their best clip, and I know we've discussed this, but if you're home near the Google machine, you should look it up. It's when, for some reason, it was at the holidays, and Kenny and Shaq were racing to the telestrator stage.
Oh yeah.
And Kenny shoved Shaq into the tree. It's just gold. I mean, it's such a great set. And then the other night, super dorky, because they're all in the same building, Chuck and Shaq went over and screwed with the hockey guys.
Yeah.
Oh, did they really?
And,
I missed that.
And Chuck predicted that the Leafs would win the night they lost, thank God. And it's absolute foolishness. It's so good. I love it. If you're a sports fan, it doesn't get any better. And I still want NBC to get the NBA back because they'll drag that whole crew over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The only concern with the NBC thing is like I don't want to have to pay for Peacock. Like, is that what's going to happen? Like, you're going to
like $7 a month.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's not that much money. It's like I pay for it. It's like $7 a month.
I know, but I already have 1,000 streaming things. Like,
I have all the streaming things, and it's embarrassing, but I do. Actually, I'll tell you.
Max. You can give up.
How dare you? Here's my hack, Scotty. I'll tell you, and you might not care about this, but there's a few different places around here for golf that you have to use Golf Now to book. Breakfast Hill is one of them. Mm-hmm. And in doing so, and there's not a huge advantage to this, it waives some of the fees. So I went in and got Golf Now, Golf Plus, Platinum, whatever the hell it is. It's $99 for the year, Peacock included.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have
there you go.
Golf Plus, Golf Now.
See, Scotty,
which is
you have
a whole
nothing to worry about.
different app where you can like watch golf lessons that don't improve your game if you're as bad as me, and you get Peacock. And it was $99 for the year, so slam dunk. or long drive. I don't know what the analogy is I should use there.
Like that. Yeah, I got you.
I'm cross training. I'm wearing Adidas socks and Nike sneakers. Kick him out. Anyway, are we talking Bruins? We go into the draft. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we can talk Bruins quickly. I mean, I think with the Bruins, it's deja vu, man.
It's urgency,
right? I mean, the fact they were down, they're up 3-1 last year and they blew it, and then watching that first period, I was beside myself, and of course I had it on my phone because there's children still awake, and I don't get to watch what I want when the kids are around. And so I'm watching that, and 2 shots on net. I mean, one of them went in, but 2 shots on net for the entire first period. Are you out of your mind? Yeah, I felt bad for Swayman because Swayman played great last night. The offense just could not get out of their way, and they had so many chances in the third period and in overtime to win that game. And it was just super disappointing. So yeah, it's urgency. I mean, that POS place up in Toronto, man, like it's gonna be nuts up there. But they won up there before. They're just gonna win again. They have to. I don't to get it done. Do not come back for Game 7.
I don't want a Game 7 of the Garden.
I'll be sweating bullets if they come back.
Nope, I'll go to the Red Sox with rubber shoes. I'll be out just like he was last night. Yeah, and please, if the court stenographer is typing away, he left early last night, just so everyone knows.
Oh,
yeah,
he did.
Oh yeah, you didn't see that? That was in the show
No, I
thread.
missed that.
Yeah,
No,
he pops into the
I don't
thread.
know.
He's like, I'm out. I'm going to the Red Sox. I'm out. I'm going to the Red Sox. And I wrote, it's the commitment for me. Yeah. Because he stormed. He took his pool float and he marched away and went to go watch the Red Sox.
Oh,
didn't he just?
No, I think he was saying that he was out for the show.
Saying that he was out for tonight's show.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking back at it. Now we're killing him for leaving early.
I'm out going to the Sox. I don't see your text in here.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I didn't see it. I didn't see any of that.
How many drinks did you have last night? I know you're off on
dude. I'm on
He's
water.
Dude. He's on water, man.
I'm not drinking.
I'm so much. How much weed did you smoke? I mean,
so confused. This is my senility. This is where they walk me off the show. I honestly thought he meant I'm out. I'm going to the Red Sox. I thought he was leaving the Bruins game, digitally. I thought he was grabbing his float and marching to another pool. Yeah, I had no idea what he meant. That's why I was like, oh, it's the commitment for me.
Last night, the game was the Red Sox game.
No wonder you thought he was still coming to the show. I'm like, why do you have rubber shoes on?
Yeah. See, I'm just catching up. I'm just really figuring it out, and we're 48 minutes in. Here's the other thing. God bless Mother Shoes. The absolute cacophony of uniforms that he's rifling shirts on and off. And when the Bruins are losing, does he put on a Toronto hat backwards? But then he has to put the bird shirt on front. Like, what is happening over there? Is he wearing shirts of games that aren't even being played?
Yep.
There's such confusion. What is he wearing tonight?
Who knows?
Because as soon as the Red Sox are over, does he switch into the Celtics gear for the ride home?
Well, the Celtics will be over by the time he gets home.
Oh my God!
Like, I want a full report. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
my favorite thing about Boston though is that there's so many sports going on that you go to a Red Sox game and they'll probably inevitably announce the score of the Celtics. And that's always fun when they do that.
Oh, 1,000%.
Hopefully they're winning. Obviously.
They'll show the halftime score and stuff like that on the.
As everybody will remind everybody, back in 86 when Rocket struck out 20?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Everyone claims that they were at Fenway. Nobody was at Fenway. They were all at the Garden because
they were all watching
at the Garden because they were watching the Celtics in the playoffs.
Yep.
Nobody was like, Jimmy, hop in the cab. We're heading down. We're heading down to Lansdowne to watch Rocket Roger strike out the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, buddy.
Nobody was doing that.
I was there.
There was 4 people there. It's so ridiculous.
When I was big into, I don't watch as much Red Sox as I probably should because I can't commit to 182 games. But when they used to be, the Patriots were in the playoffs and the Red Sox were
162, but I love that you made it worse.
It feels like 192, but all right, we'll go with 162. But I used to love watching the Patriots. They weren't in the playoffs yet, but when the Patriots were playing and they would announce the Red Sox score while the Patriots were playing, and there was just like an eruption of like excitement because people were so psyched that the Red Sox were winning in the playoffs during a Patriots game. It was like, back when we were City of Champions. Now we're City of
welcome to Boston, loser. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So from a draft standpoint, I got to tell you the most entertaining, and I don't know if you caught this kid, and there's a ton to talk about, but Keon Coleman, the kid for the Bills.
Dude,
his presser, Adam,
he's a Bill, but
I haven't seen him.
God.
If you didn't see his presser,
what's his name? Keon
Coleman, Keon Coleman.
Okay.
He goes to his presser. He's in a Guess like the jeans that we had in high school. It's a Guess like goose down yellow jacket. Okay. And he sits down, he starts talking. He's electric. They're already calling him Ocho 2.0 or Ocho 2.2 because he's already got that. He's already got that. He's talking. Somebody asked him about his jacket, and he goes on this diatribe about how, I got it at Macy's. No, my mom taught me you buy your jackets in the off season so you don't overpay. He's gold. This kid's gold.
I love that.
Did you see the end of it?
Yeah,
where he looks at the snack table.
Yeah, and then he's talking about the fact he goes, now I got to go get a red and blue one because he's a Bill, which I'm happy to root for this kid because he's going to be electric. Yeah. And
what position? He's a wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
Yeah. He
looks over at the snack table, and it's rudimentary at best, Adam, I assure you. I mean,
I'm sure.
Scotty just said it. He looks over, and he's all excited. He goes over, and he picks up, like you're at halftime at your son's soccer game. He lifts up, like, the market bucket, open the lid, plastic see-through cookies stacked from the bakery that are on an end table in the middle of the bakery. He picks it up, and he goes, he looks over, he's like, can I grab a cookie? Like, you just got drafted by the Bills. You can have anyone in the room. Actually, I shouldn't have said that. It's 1987. But yeah, like he goes over, grabs, opens up. He starts feeding them to a female reporter. Like they're sharing cookies. And then like he keeps talking about he owned the room. Oh my God. He owned the room.
I can't wait to go watch it.
They miss Stephon Diggs. Good. They're going to miss him mathematically, but this kid is going to step right in and be, I mean, the Kevin Millar, he's great in the clubhouse. He's your man.
Yeah,
he's your man.
I can't wait. Can't wait to watch it.
Amazing.
If this kid has 7 catches, 89 yards a game, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. And he's got the bravado. He's probably going to be a star.
Rubber Shoes is pissed right now because we started talking about the draft and started with the Bills. I just want you to know that Rubber Shoes is losing his ever-loving mind.
Scotty doesn't disagree with me. You got to go watch. You got to go watch the kid's press.
I'll go watch it.
You have to check it out. It is really good. It is really.
So talk to me about Michael Penix Jr., Scotty. What are they doing?
Honestly, that was the most insane pick since the fact that the Vikings missed their pick. Like it was the craziest thing when that happened.
So stupid.
My jaw dropped, and of course immediately I called Nate Dodge, who's from Atlanta, and I'm like, "What's happening?" And he's like,
"Yeah,
I'm not taking any more phone calls," and hung up. He's like, "I don't want nothing to do with it." He's like, he doesn't know. Nobody knows. You dedicated $180 million
to Kirk
Cousins,
and I love Kirk Cousins.
Came out and said, "I am done. This is my last stop. I'm super excited. I want to bring a championship here. This is I'm all in." And then you pick Penix, like you're drafting for the future. When you just committed, like it totally didn't. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But it's Atlanta.
I know you guys both saw it.
Do that.
The file footage of the GM explaining to Arthur Blank, and it's so funny because they're playing it and they're slowing it down on ESPN, and they're like, I wish they let the audio roll. Because it would have been like, you got a dart in your neck, man. Like old school, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And his hands are moving and he's stacking and explaining. It's so bad. And
they could have had Bill Belichick. What's going on?
I've never, Matt Ryan's gone now, so I've never rooted against a team more because I think they are 2 buckets of stupid for not grabbing coach, first of all. Yeah. But I love what coach is going to do this year. He's going to live his life. He's going to be, by the way, and I know we talked about this a little bit, the Brady Netflix roast is Sunday night.
Oh, I can't wait.
And coach is going to be on the dais.
Yep.
That's going to be amazing.
Drew Bledsoe's going to be there. There's a whole bunch of people, man.
Yep.
I'm super excited.
Gronk's going to be terrible. Drew will be great.
Yep.
Right? Drew will be great.
Is Edelman on there or no?
He is, yes.
Edelman will be great. Drew's going to be great. I hope Drew makes some sort of like a Galooly joke, right? Remember? Right? That would be perfect. And I think Coach is going to be hysterical. And the rumor is that Kraft will not be in the building.
Oh, really?
Because somebody else is going to be in the building. Like the blood's that bad. The blood's that bad. And I'm Team Bill all the way. And I love Robert Kraft. He by purchasing the franchise saved us. We could have been in St. Louis. I get it. But you know what? Like not cool. So that's going to be absolutely hysterical. What the Michael Penix thing, the GM is explaining to Blank, and then the quotes he had after the fact. He claims that Blank knew beforehand, which clearly from the file footage he didn't. And Kirk Cousins found out in the moment, apparently.
Yep.
Wow. Kirk Cousins on his couch next to his wife in his Kohl's outfit that she purchased, found out in real time at the same time we found out.
Do you know you know what they actually did? They didn't call Kirk right before the pick. They called Kirk's agent and gave his agent the information instead of calling Kirk directly. And I'm talking like this is like 60 seconds before the pick.
What are we doing?
So Kirk's watching the draft, sees it happening, goes, "What the hell?" And his agent is yelling.
His agent's like, I meant to call you, but I was ordering dinner.
His agent has to call Kirk and have the conversation and being like, "What the hell?" It's just the whole thing was an absolute mess.
What a mess.
By the time, I think they threw the math out. By the time Penix would take the field, because they're and the GM was quoted as saying it's okay if he hangs out for 4 to 5 years on the bench.
Oh, because he's going to be 20. He's 24. He'll be
24. He's going to be
4 to 5 years?
He'll be 28, 29.
Wow. By the time he actually gets on the none of it makes sense.
It's probably good that Belichick didn't end up there. It sounds like it was a mess.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Belichick ended up there, they wouldn't have done that.
No, 100%.
They wouldn't have done that, right?
But if Belichick was still our coach, we wouldn't have Drake May either, so let's be honest about it.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of good
things
about.
No, he didn't.
Drake on the McAfee show.
No, he didn't.
No, and look, and I know Billy's not here to defend his beloved Drake, and I'm going to root for the kid because he's ours now. He's our quarterback.
Yep,
he's wearing
the
franchise
quarterback as of right now. So I am 1,000% behind him. Was he my pick? No, he wasn't my pick. That's not who I was hoping they would get. But this is what we've done. I also have to keep reminding myself on the daily, he's 21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a kid. He's still 21 years old. You know what I mean? He's a child, basically, especially when it comes to the NFL. So he's going to make mistakes. Does he have probably the strongest arm in the draft? Yeah. Between him and Joe Milton, who they selected later on.
Grabbing Milton at the buzzer, I don't really hate that. Yeah, and you're going to see Jacoby out of the gate, yes? And I think... Yeah. And I think we're probably saying our goodbyes to Zappy.
I would think so. Yeah, if you drafted 2 guys,
Yeah, and I think with Milton, the biggest thing with Milton, look, Milton he's a great athlete, and he can throw the ball 80 yards. The problem is when he tries to throw the slant that's 10 yards, he still throws it 80. So he's got a lot of work to do. He's a bit of a project, but I like both those picks. I really like Polk. I love the wide receiver pick there. I think he's, I don't know why they traded down just to watch 4 or 5 other receivers get picked in front of him, but that's all right because I would have taken McConkey. I would have rather have had him, but I'm happy with Polk and the offensive lineman, not the interior lineman. Because
I want a Kool-Aid.
The only pick that didn't make sense to me was they grabbed another interior offensive lineman, which we have plenty of depth at with. Strange and and others, but the tackle pick I do like him, and I think it's a solid draft pick where they got him. So I would if you draft grade probably like a B.
I was gonna say B.
I think it's a solid B.
That's good.
It's a solid B.
Yeah. We've been D's and F's for a while. and I wouldn't even say I'm not saying like April 25th we had a D or an F, but as it rolled out.
Are we grading on a curve because we have a new regime? That's my only concern.
I'm not. And I listen. I want nothing but good things. I love the Patriots. I've always been a Patriots fan. I want nothing but good things. I'm not sold on Mayo. I think it's going to be a 3-year slow death. He's not.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he's
right.
2-3 years tops.
Okay.
Really?
I just
like
don't
Mayo.
feel it. I don't feel it.
I love Mayo. I love Mayo, but I'm just saying.
do.
I didn't know if you were
I do.
grading
I
the
just.
draft.
I also. My tail is not tingling. I think it's not going to work.
He's been at the job for a
I
month
do
and a
love that
half,
Timmy's
dude.
dumping on him after a month and a half. I
You're
do love
welcome.
that.
I know.
I love
You're
that.
welcome.
90s
But- and if
days,
I-
he's like, no, go ahead. Get out.
Yep.
I was annoyed. No,
Who
I
else
was
are we
annoyed.
putting there?
And I knew it
Timmy
was a fait
wanted
accompli.
Harbaugh.
I knew it was a fait accompli because they put it into his contract. I know that. And I appreciate that Kraft was a man of his word, which is difficult to say now, knowing that he called Arthur Blank and fucked Belichick. Anyway, other than that, welcome back. All that aside, as soon as Vrabel becomes available, I don't know how you don't entertain that conversation.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
we
agree.
did. Maybe while he was sitting there in his red jacket last year, they had that conversation. He's like, no, I don't really want to do that. Or I would never entertain that. Why would I entertain that? I'm happy in Tennessee until I get fired. I don't know how when he falls on the kitchen table, you don't investigate that conversation.
Right.
That's
I hear you.
short-sighted,
I
I
hear
think. Because you're like, oh, well, Mayo's an old guard Patriot way guy. So is Vrabel.
Yeah.
And I just, that to me, weirdzos. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't wanna
I'm more
throw- I
excited.
don't
I'll
wanna
say this because Rubber Shoes is in here, and I'll say it when he gets back because I don't care because it's not complicated when it comes to me in college sports. I'm more excited about my BC Eagles than I am the New England Patriots.
There
End
you
of
go. Well,
story.
I get that.
End of story. I think we have a
don't
better
wanna
head coach. There, I said it.
Oh. I don't want to
1,000%.
throw any water
Wow,
on the
Scotty.
B grade that the draft that you gave the draft, but I will say that did you either of you watch Drake May's draft night, and then they come to Foxborough, he flies on the private jet and all that?
Sure.
Did you guys
Yeah.
watch that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It gave me weird I don't know. You're like a little kid living out a dream type of vibe, which I know some
He
people will
is.
say, "What's wrong with that?" He is.
He
Blah, blah,
is.
blah. I know, but it didn't give me confidence. I wasn't like, "Here's our quarterback of the future." I was like,
But that's why
I
Adam,
don't know.
I completely agree with you, and that's what my point was earlier. I have to remind myself he's 21.
I know he's 21. I know.
He just started to drink alcohol. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a
You
kid.
can't you can't compare the guy to Brady. Obviously, you can't. Any new
Mayo's
quarterback we get,
coming.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You
Mayo's
cannot compare him to Brady. But can you imagine Brady, who walked up to Kraft right after draft night and was like, "I'm the best decision you've ever made," walking around on a private jet going, "Oh, look, there's TVs and there's glass." Like, no, come on. You're there for a job. Let's get it done. So I'm
happy he's
lukewarm.
excited. Yeah.
I'm happy he's excited, but I'm lukewarm.
That didn't turn me off. What turned me off, and this plays back into the undertone. There's a whole conversation going on about bologna sandwiches and the shitty treatment that the players get with the Patriots. The only thing I could think of, and I guess I spent more time looking at it because I was expecting more, and we see the locker room all the time because they're always like, in there doing the thing when Slater used to do it. They like, who loves a good win on a Sunday? And they scream and all this stuff.
Yeah,
We've seen the locker room a million times. He walked up to his locker and he passes, and one thing I sort of forgot about, as he passed the double doors to get to his side of the locker room, he passed Christian Gonzalez. Don't forget he's coming back, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And I am excited, even though I did say he would be a bust, and I'm halfway there. Maybe he doesn't come back. Anyway, I love you. I love you, Scotty. I love you. Anyway, that being said,
Scotty quits
and
the
he
show.
he walked up to his locker. I said, that's an NFL locker room. I'm going to be honest, Aiden, D3 lacrosse, has a nicer locker room than the Patriots. The Patriots locker room is garbage. It's garbage. He pulled
Which is
out.
funny
Did you,
because
did you notice? But did you notice he pulled out his folding chair from it? Like, what is going on in that locker room? I'm not even joking. Like, you look at some of these locker rooms. You look at like for example, going back to women's lacrosse, the nicest women's lacrosse facility in college sports is Clemson.
Yeah.
They have the only fully dedicated female lacrosse locker room, and it's unbelievable. It's like a sandals without the sandals, but I'm sure you can probably get some. And like everybody's got like beautiful chairs out. Like, he pulled out his little folding chair. I've got 50 of those in my training room. I I don't know, man. Like they gotta turn the worm there, because that's part of probably what our struggle bus was. You didn't have that prime rib. Like, I get to go play with Brady. Guys were like, I'll take $1 to go play with Brady because the magic is there, right? He was the Patriot way. He was the effect that made people want to come in, take less. He was taking less. We don't have that anymore.
Yep.
Like, can we get some non-folding chairs? Can we get a Baca Lounger? Do we have a relationship with?
They gave all that money to Christian Barnmore, which I'm pretty excited about. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and that boy needs a better chair than that.
I'm happy they signed him. By the way, I'm very happy.
1,000%. He got 4 years, $92 million.
I'm with you though, Timmy.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of these? Some of these college football locker rooms are like palaces.
Yeah, Crafty's got to scrape out the old. Go grab your Bank of New England account, the one that you forgot about. Yeah, go dust that off. Get us some nice chairs.
Renovate your shit, will you?
Yeah. Maybe go crazy, get a little salami, maybe. But like, no, honestly, they said during training camp years ago, like they'd come in and it was like Kool-Aid and bologna sandwiches.
Oh my God!
Like
bologna
garbage
sandwiches.
treatment. They've got to fix that. And when I saw the folding chair, I'm like, they still haven't fixed the locker room.
But I will say, so far, like when that thing came out, the survey came out, the worst facility and food and everything, Chiefs.
Yes.
Oh.
Kansas City Chiefs.
All right.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Well, now people want to go play with Mahomes.
Right. It was just like absolute bottom. Absolute bottom. So
it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Timmy, before we go.
Yes, sir.
Oh, go ahead, Scotty.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Oh, real quick. I'm just gonna say I am happy though with the picks. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to the season, starting. There's still obviously trade rumors and stuff that are going to be happening over the next like 6 to 10 weeks. But with Baker and Polk, I like both those wide receivers and looking forward to mini camp and all that. It's just
all of it. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super excited.
It's going to be amazing.
I'm cautiously optimistic. Extra cautiously
Go ahead, Adam.
optimistic.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was going to ask Timmy. It's off topic, anyways. I was going to ask you: are you
We love that.
Lined up for a world premiere for Unfrosted on Netflix?
You know what? I love Jerry. Of course, I love Jerry, and I think it will be tolerable.
Oh,
yeah, like
tolerable.
There's too many people in it that make me want to jump out of a first floor window. There's a couple people in it that I saw that I feel like I don't know if I can sit through that.
Okay.
For folks that aren't aware, it's a Jerry Seinfeld movie coming out on Netflix about Pop-Tart.
About
who's not aware? Scotty, who's not aware?
How do you not?
Honestly.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people not aware. When you guys will throw random stuff, and I have to like include that. Like you guys are like my wives sometimes. You guys have like half a conversation and you spit out the middle, and I'm
we got that one guy in his basement. He's like, "Oh my God, Seinfeld's doing adult male porn. What's happening?
Oh, what's happening?
Frosted. Yeah, I can get into that.
Right. Timmy doesn't like some of the stars in that movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I'll give my review on next Wednesday.
Dude, I still haven't watched Tom vs. Time. I still haven't watched The Dynasty. I still Scotty's gonna break up with me, but I'm gonna say it out loud. What is the one? What's the Bulls one?
The Last Dance? You didn't watch that?
Nope.
What is happening in your life? What are you doing?
I got women's college lacrosse to watch, and I said that for rubber shoes.
I do too, but Last Dance was on during COVID. I mean, let's be honest.
I was busy watching movies like Unfrosted or Frosted. What is it called? Unfrosted, Frosted?
It is Unfrosted.
Is it Unfrosted or Frosted?
Unfrosted.
Oh, it is? I was going to say, I thought the movie was Frosted. Unfrosted will be the expose about all the nonsense going on behind the scenes.
Oh my God. You have to watch it. Now you have to watch it over the weekend. You have to. Squeeze it in between the college lacrosse national championship. I don't care.
I'm not going to get to it. I got golf Saturday morning.
Oh, come on.
And then I got Bubba's game, and then I'm packing, and then I'm leaving
your old
Sunday.
man Jeepers going to bed at like 7 o'clock at night. Yeah.
Right after Lawrence Welk. Maybe I'll see some of Shana Na. I don't know. Do you remember that? You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. That was for Cheryl. There was a cadence. It was like Lawrence Welk, Shana Na, then it went to Love Boat, then it was like, yeah. There's a Yeah, we watched all of it. I knew at a certain age I was able
Was
to
that
watch
on
Fantasy Island.
LVI? Was that on WLVI? I can't even remember.
I want to say Love Boat was
channel was it on?
ABC. I would
okay.
die. I would die on fall on my nerve sword that Love Boat was ABC, and
Okay,
maybe
all right.
maybe Fantasy Island was
yeah,
might have been
probably.
CBS. Might have been CBS.
Scotty's all
There's a
about
lot
it.
going on. There's a lot going on.
Scotty
Dukes
knows
of
what's
Hazzard,
going on.
Friday nights at 8 o'clock.
There's a detour.
Scotty's
for it.
like, go Celtics. Are we almost done? The Celtics pregame is about to start.
Yeah,
I looked at my phone. I'm like, 7:30, right? Okay,
oh
it's
my
6:20.
God! All right, yeah, we're gonna go. Scotty's got a pool to
I
heat. And he's
guarantee
gonna get
Scotty
hair and
watches
makeup.
Unfrosted this weekend.
Yeah.
Watch it,
No.
Scotty.
God,
I will
help
not
us.
be watching that. No, I got my daughter has
come
a
on.
dance recital on Saturday. I got to
Oh.
mow.
All right.
You know,
Well, kids are
2.5
more
acres
important, for sure.
of
It's got to
grass
mow
over
3
here.
acres, heat a pool.
Yep. And
Yeah,
then I
there's a lot
got to
going on.
Strawberries.
go to the baseball field to convince my son to let me run
Blow
the
up a
bases.
Yeah,
super
safe.
comfy
Careful,
float.
careful.
It's comfy.
Careful.
I don't know what the hell I said.
So comfy.
Listen, I love you, Scotty, but I heard it too. Anyway, we'll be back at it next week. It's atbshow.com. If you want to go there, find all the things. Rubber Shoes will be pissed off in the morning because the Red Sox are absolutely going to lose.
No, he's
Absolutely.
gonna be mad because he's gonna be on the treadmill or bike listening to the show, and we haven't
Listening
talked
to
about
us,
that.
and we didn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
to Boston sports until like 25 minutes in.
and nobody brought up wrestling. There, I brought it up.
Oh, rest in
I
peace,
brought it up.
wrestling.
Go Red
For
Sox.
for
Bring it
Rubber
fourth in a
Shoes,
row.
live
There
from
you go,
Fenway, for Scotty, for Adam, and for myself, we are ATB Show. Go to atbshow.com. We appreciate you watching, subscribing, commenting, sharing. Please tell a friend. We'll be back at it next Wednesday night. Have a great week.